Hey guys, what's going on? Hope you're having a great day and welcome back to another episode of the Fourth Quarter Podcast. And now, last night we saw the OKC Thunder defeat the San Antonio Spurs in Game 5, 127-114 in the Western Conference Finals. And obviously now we see the Thunder are up 3-2. And after last night's game, to me it does sort of look like the Thunder have kind of figured out the Spurs here. Finally, Wembanyama last night didn't have his best game. He only had 20 points, 0 for 5 from 3 from Victor. But still, I think the way that the Thunder have been defending him the last couple games, has been effective. Isaiah Hartenstein's been playing very physical defense on Wemby. I think that's been kind of able to slow him down early on in the game. But yeah, Stephon Castle had a huge night for the Spurs as well, 24 points. Julian Champagnie, shout out his brother on the Wiz, Justin Champagnie, but, Julian Champagnie knocked him down 5 threes last night, but still, SGA just looked like, SGA last night had 32 points. And how about Jared McCain, his first career playoff start for him in the Thunder, and he dropped 20 points last night, pretty big game for him. His confidence just continues to grow. And obviously, last night at the end of the game there, you did see Wembanyama sort of whisper something to Bismack Biyombo and Mason Plumlee there, and then they ended up fouling Jared McCain there pretty hard there, so I'm not sure what that was about. I'll have to look in more of that later today. But anyway, guys, so big win for the Thunder. They're now up 3-2, and they find themselves one win away from going back to the NBA Finals. And, obviously they got to win Game 6 next up in San Antonio. The Spurs fans will be playing. The Spurs fans will be there. Obviously, the Spurs are playing with some extreme desperation there, and it'll be interesting to see how these guys bounce back from this loss for the Spurs. Again, I do think the Spurs are kind of starting to show a bit of that inexperience here in the playoffs. Guys like Dylan Harper had a bit of a slow, quiet game last night, and also De'Aaron Fox. He's been up and down this series. I know he's still battling that ankle injury, but he only had 9 points last night. And for the Thunder, they are once again doing this without J-Dub and A.J. Mitchell, who's also been a pretty good player for them this playoffs. But again, the Spurs, they're going to have to obviously find a way to win this game if they want to extend the series and push it to 7. But, the Thunder looked like the better team last night, and it'll be interesting to see how the Spurs are able to bounce back on their home floor in Game 6 tomorrow night. So now, obviously, guys, talking about last night, the Orioles had a huge win at home against the Tampa Bay Rays last night, won 6-1. And behind him, a huge game from Shane Baz. His by far his best performance of the season. He had 9 strikeouts last night against his former team. But, great game for him. And you guys remember last week I did mention how, the O's acquired Shane Baz for about 5 of our prospects this year. And they actually ended up re-signing him, too. Gave him, I believe, a 5-year deal worth about $120 million. He's actually starting to look like he's worth every single penny of that. If he can continue to stack these starts and I think he could potentially be a guy that could fill that, ace sort of role because, Trevor Rogers has been kind of iffy this season. I think Shane Baz could be a guy that could slide into that number 1 starter role and potentially, if he keeps stacking up these great performances, quality start after quality start, I think we could see him, being what we hope he would be, for the O's. And also, last night, Samuel Basallo, who's been off to a great start this season, his first full season, had a big 3-run shot last night. This guy showed off his power last night. I believe he's now hitting close to 300. He's still very young. I believe he's still 20 years old. And when he came into the league, or when he came into the start of the season, he was struggling a bit at the plate. But now also, starting to find a rhythm. Not only has he been a great job catching, but just like behind the plate as well, done a great job getting up his, getting some quality at bats and putting together a couple stretch of good games for Samuel Basallo here. So great start for him to this, early on in the season now. But great win for the O's. They've now won 3 out of 4, and again, after last week getting swept by the Rays, it feels pretty good to take at least 2 out of 3 from them. So far. So we got the series win secure already. Got another game tonight, 6:35, I believe. I believe we got Chris Bassett going up against Griffin Jacks last night. No, that was last night, Griffin Jacks. But, guys, I believe the Rays, last night, too, they've made some very bad plays in the field, and usually you don't see Tampa Bay make plays like that, and that's kind of cost them some runs there. Just kind of leaving the Orioles extra outs there. And, the Orioles, it's good to see them take advantage of that anyway. So, big win for the O's last night. Good to see Shane Baz, finally get going here. He's put some great quality starts together now. And obviously, last night also we saw, how about this? I have not really mentioned this on the channel much, but we'll talk about some stick and puck here, boys. How about the Las Vegas Golden Knights sweeping the Avalanche in 4 games, advancing I believe their fourth Stanley Cup final, which is amazing because they were just invented in 2018. Of course, the Caps got their first chip against the Knights back in 2018, their inaugural season. But still, I mean, the Golden Knights had to be one of the more successful franchises in the more recent years here. And their head coach, I can't remember this guy's name right now. It's bad. It's going to kill me right now. But I believe he took over for the Knights before they started the playoffs. They had lost, I believe, 8 out of their last 9 games to close out the regular season. And this guy has just done nothing but win. They led to a win against the top team in the West, the Avalanche. A huge win for them. And obviously, they're going to have to see who wins in the Eastern Series between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Montreal Canadiens, the Habs. I believe Carolina's up 2-1 in that series. And, Carolina's been looking really good the whole playoffs before. They lost a couple games. They lost the 1 game here, game 1 of this series. But they looked like a pretty good team. So I expect Carolina to match up with the Knights in the final for Stanley Cup playoffs. So, yeah, looking forward to that. And, of course, today, guys, it is also day 2 of Ravens OTAs. Very exciting here, guys. Obviously, as mentioned before, big changes coming this offseason, obviously. We got Declan Doyle, our new old offensive coordinator, Anthony Weaver, and, of course, the man in charge, Jesse Minter. I am very excited to see how he kind of takes over here as his first year as head coach. First time being an NFL head coach, but still, obviously, first time sort of setting the tone here, getting the message in early to the guys. And I'm also excited to see how the offense kind of gets going here under Declan Doyle. Very important, I think, for these guys to get in the building as soon as possible, to get familiar with this playbook here and to get familiar with his scheme. Obviously, very new scheme here than what we've been used to running here the last couple of years. But also, I think our defense, I'll get into this more towards like training camp, but I think our defense is going to take a huge step forward this year. I mean, I just think Jesse Mitchell is going to be a great fit for guys on our defense. Just a lot of the guys that we have, not only just like Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith, but like I look at guys like Mike Green, Tavius Robinson. Really looking excited to see Nadimi Matabike come back. Man, we really missed him last year. And obviously, I'm expecting big things from this rookie draft class as well. Obviously you got Vega Ione there. Zion Young, edge rusher out of Mizzou. Very excited for him, man. And also these receivers. I didn't mention before, and again, I will mention, I'll talk more about the Ravens, as we get kind of closer to training camp and rookie and mini camp back in June. But anyway, guys, I think the Ravens wide receiver room could have some room for, improvement. I would like to see us maybe bring back D-Hop for another year. I thought he was a great fit in our offense last year, and I think Lamar would like, obviously, a guy like that to have. Another veteran, deep threat, big body receiver, go up and get the ball there late in the fourth quarter. It's someone you can trust. But also, Zay and Bateman. I expect Zay to step up this year and have a big year. But, Rashad Bateman, I'm not too sure what to think of him. Like, his ceiling, I'm not sure even what it is. Because 2 years ago, he had a great year. He had a career-high 8 touchdowns. And we did re-sign him. But still, I don't know what his kind of role is. So I'm expecting a guy like possibly Jacoby Lane, a rookie out of USC, maybe take his spot, or also Elijah Surratt. But also, you got guys like Devontae Walker, who all that guy does is seems to catch touchdowns. But anyway, guys. Our tight end room, bit of a question mark. We drafted 2 guys, Josh Cuevas, and I forget the guy at SMU. Forgive me about that. Sorry, sir. But also, Mark Andrews. But guys, all right. Much to look forward to this summer. Obviously, big Ravens season coming ahead. And guys, big win for the O's last night. Same thing against the Rays tonight, 6:35. Can we go for the sweep? We got Chris Bassett going against, I'll have to check who's going for Tampa Bay tonight. But anyway, guys. So thanks for watching. We got tomorrow night, got game 6 of the Western Final, Thunder at Spurs. And guys, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Thanks, guys. Go O's. Peace.